Disclaimer. In today's episode, I used Israel as a reference in my examples, but I want to make it clear that I am neither for Israel nor Palestine. I'm neutral in this case. My aim was simply to analyze this block of the series Fascism Bad. I don't have any stake in this. Enjoy the episode.
If Hitler was alive today, would I support Hitler? The sad answer is yes. I think I would have supported Hitler. Not in every single horrific aspect, but he had some good ideas. And I'm like, some things he said, like, were not totally wrong, but the way he went about it was really wrong. And that's where I feel we don't align. But I think a lot of things he said, I catch myself saying it sometimes. And most times when I say the Hitler stuff before I even knew Hitler said it, I was joking, I hope. Because, yeah, if it's serious, that's really scary if it's serious. I don't think it was ever serious, but there's some things he said, like, okay, this is gonna sound really strange, but keeping like the ideal man or like the ideal human. And I truly believe in an idyllic human. I believe there is like a way we could exist as humans. But I don't believe we should kill people who are not ideal humans. I just believe we should not let them procreate. I know. I don't like saying things like this out loud, but I was just thinking of it and I was like, yeah. 6 weeks ago now, I embarked on this journey of like working on this episode. And the outline was like done like 5 weeks ago now. And then I started the recordings the week after. When I wrote down, it's not happening to me, so I thought of myself as I said last week. I imagine myself as a kid in Gaza, or a kid in Auschwitz, or a German, or sorry, not a German, because Germans are getting it good, but like a Jew in Germany. And I wondered how it felt to be in the side of being tortured, or like being looked down on porn, or being like punished. Like I said last week, I said the only thing we could do, like I'm putting myself in that position right now, the only thing we could do is hope for people to stand against what's going on. And I was like, oh, the only thing we can do as people who are outside of these situations is to fight these horrible leaders of these situations, like Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel and Hitler of Germany. And this week I'm talking about the people who necessarily would not want to interfere with what's going on, because it's not happening to me. It's not happening to a family member. It's not happening to someone I'm close with. It's not happening to a friend. It's not even happening to a distant relative. So why should I care? And that's why it's called It's Not Happening to Me. So, and the so, it's like, so why should I care? So like, what's in it for me? Like I said last week, like I feel we as humans have to have like a stake in the game, or like have to gain something from it to care as much as possible. Like I said last week, I was like, oh, if like the Israeli Palestine stuff happens and Palestine loses, or like Palestine doesn't become like a state at the end of the day, and every single person in every single country are told to like, oh, did you support Israel or Palestine when like the Israel Palestine stuff was happening? It's really like I was saying for myself, it would be really easy for me to say, oh, I was pro Israel all along because I never had a stake in the game. I never knew anybody personally there. And it would be easy for me to say I supported Israel all along. And with saying that, my life will be spared, because they're like going around killing people who are pro-Palestinians. Imagine that. Imagine you're in a future where Israel is the owner of like Gaza and like the West Bank, and they're asking you, oh, during the Israel-Palestine war, or like whatever is going on, genocide, were you pro-Palestinian or pro-Israeli? And now you have the internet, you can see what's going on, you can see what Jessica is posting on her socials. You can see Jessica just told you a story about her friend being killed because he was pro-Palestinian, or you can see a story from someone talking about their parents being like tortured because they were pro-Palestinian, and you know that, oh, if these people ask me, was I pro-Palestinian or pro-Israeli, I can literally say I was pro-Israeli because Israel controls the narrative now. The Palestinians, or like Gaza, or like Hamas, lost this battle, or whatever you want to call it. Um, so that was my whole thought pattern there, and I was like, I'm lucky. I'm talking from the point of view of people who are part of this like cohort, and the people who it's not happening to me. So why should I care? I'm lucky to be part of the cohort. I'm lucky to be part of the protected cohort. I'm lucky to be part of the group who is not being persecuted. I'm lucky to be in tandem with the right side, or the winning side. Not all, I always thought the winning side was the right side, but I don't believe now as an adult that the winning side is the right side. I don't believe the superheroes, because when you're growing up as a child, you see superheroes as the epitome of like goodness, and I don't believe superheroes are good people. My favorite super like person is WandaVision because she's a villain, and her story resonates with like what I think reality is, like fighting for something that you love, or fighting for a cause that you love. And for WandaVision, it was her kids. Being part of like the right cohort is what makes people think, oh, I'm actually in the good side, because my side is beating your side. Like, I will, like, if you have an Israeli friend, or yeah, an Israeli friend, the way they view the war is very different from the way people who are Palestinians, or people who support the Palestinian cause, view the war. Or if you have like a Ukrainian friend, the way they view Russia is very different from the way me, as an outsider looking in, is viewing the war. I think we tend to, as victors, or like the victors, we tend to think, oh, because we won, we are the right people, or like we're the good ones. Like, in a lot of ways, I think because of the propaganda of America, if you don't think America or American media is not propaganda, you're a psychopath. You're a psychopath, or you're not like tapped into culture. I feel if you view America not as the propaganda machine that they try to feed everybody, but as a state that is manipulating the whole planet. They are doing a really good job at manipulating the whole planet. If you view like World War II, America was not good. Because America ended World War II doesn't mean America did good things in World War II. Okay? Because they ended it doesn't mean they did good things in World War II. America destroyed like people and like families. And in superhero movies, you see them destroy the city to like seemingly seem like good guys. In my opinion, that's not good, because you have destroyed multiple people's houses. And as a kid, I always knew that superheroes were stupid people, because I knew, okay, now that you've broken those people's houses, where will they sleep tonight? I always thought of that. I was like, okay, now that Superman has like destroyed these people's workplace, how are they gonna feed their family? And a lot of people were like, oh, don't think too much, just watch it. And I was like, I can't not think and watch this stupid thing. That's why always hated superhero like shows. And that's why I like I liked WandaVision, because all of her battles I have watched, at least, never took place in civil. Okay, maybe one or two, but like the majority of her battles never took places in like civilian areas. She always took it far away. This block explores indifference, self-protection, and forced safety, built with privilege. I believe, like I said, the context, or like the story, where in like the future, Israel has won this battle, or this genocide. They have cleansed all of the Palestinians. There's no Palestinians in sight in the region. And, or they have gotten rid of all of them from Gaza or the West Bank. And now Israel is a state. The whole space is called Israel. And then they come to you and say, are you pro-Palestinian or pro-Russia? Sorry, or pro-Israel? Were you pro-Palestinian or pro-Israel? And then you say, oh, I was pro-Israel all along. You could protect yourself. I know I'm like spelling this out for you, but like you could only protect yourself because you had the privilege of denying whatever. Even if you weren't like pro-Palestinian or pro-Israeli, or if you're all the way pro-Palestinian, but because you want to be able to still live a regular life, you choose pro-Israeli. Does that make sense? I always wondered how it would look if the internet was a communal space and not an individualistic space, or a space where people want to seem different and unique and different from like everyone. I don't want, like, there's this like huge trend. I think it's prominent in like the Gen Z culture, where they feel they want to be different from every other generation. They don't want to like they don't want to act exactly the same way every other generation that has come before them has acted. And that's fine, but I wonder if everyone thought of Sally from down the street, or Robin that you have never met, or Lucy, or Vacuum. I wonder how life, and I'm not saying every single person on the internet is like this. I'm just saying like the most popular culture, like what I see is people wanting to be individualistic. And I think that's why people care about, oh, it's not happening to me, so why would I care about what's happening to Sally, literally, or her family? Oh, Sally and her family can't drink cold water in Africa. That's all okay. At least me and my dad, we can go to Florida for the Disney World, whatever they do in Disney World. I don't know if it's Disney World or Disneyland that is in Florida. I would never go to Disney. That's the land of the devil. I think the fact that we think of ourselves alone is the cause of this title of this topic. The fact that we can think, oh, it's not happening to me, so I can like ignore whatever is going on in every part of the world, not only in this issue, but in like multiple issues that are plaguing the planet right now. I think we always think, oh, climate change is literally not going to affect me. It's going to affect my great grandchildren, but it's not going to affect me. So let's drill, baby, drill. A line from Donald Trump. I spoke about the internet, and I told you I was going to continuously speak about the internet in this series. And I think this is the last time maybe in the next week's episode, I speak about the internet. I don't know why I wrote in that outline. I have to read that outline sometime next week. But there is a false reality I think we all exist in, which is thinking our side of the internet is the right side of the internet, and the facade of being in the right side. When you scroll, like I remember in 2022, 2021, people were like, oh, what's your For You page like? And the fact that different people's For You pages look different to them, and the fact that you see whatever you're interested in, it makes a lot of sense that you should only see what you're interested in. But if the people in your side start spewing hate, or like start saying wrong things, you can only exist in that wrongness. You don't have any one opposing what that person says. Like if someone comes out and says, oh, Sydney Sweeney is literally a Nazi because she did the blue my jeans are blue ad. I'm pretty sure a lot of people on TikTok said that. I've not seen that like discourse on TikTok. I'm pretty sure I had already left TikTok before I saw that discourse. I saw a lot on like YouTube, like people reacting to TikToks on YouTube. That's how I saw those, like that's why I could make that parody, because I saw someone literally call someone a Nazi because of an ad, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to tell some people. I feel when I saw it, I was like, some people should be nuked. I know I was being really extreme, but I think there's a facade of being in the right side. I think a lot of people on the internet think, oh, because I'm in this space and because these people I'm in close relations with, or like because we have the same ideas, we're all right. We're the smartest on the internet, and the people who believe the opposite from us are wrong. I don't think life's that like cut and dry. I don't think life is black and white as we were thought as kids. I think white is really, really gray. Not white, sorry. Life is really, really gray. And I think thinking with nuance and thinking with like perspective is all we truly need to do. And I believe that a lot of people don't think with perspective. I believe that a lot of people are thinking out of this film and this filter of their side being the right side, and anything that is opposing the ideas, they never think outside of the box. They never think, oh, maybe we might be wrong at this. Maybe we might be wrong, or maybe there is another answer to this question. Like, that's my whole like thesis about the Christian religion. Like, there's this one idea that only God exists and the Christian religion is the right religion. I'm like, how do you know? What if the fishes have the right idea and we don't just know? We're not in their wavelength. How do you know? So I think that's why I struggle with the way people like proclaim their side or like their idea as the right idea. And is murder wrong? What if the person you murdered raped you as a child? Then is murder wrong? I think a lot of things that we address as like people is colored from our experiences, and we should try as much as possible to think. Okay? Let's think like people. A lot of times we see people go through hard times, or we see people being persecuted, or we see people being punished, and the prevailing thought in our head of what we think of first is, if you were a good person, no one will hurt you. Like, literally, if you did not cause trouble, you will not be in pain, or you will not be you will not have problems. You caused problems, and now you're facing the consequences. I think that's what a lot of people, me myself even, I always thought when people were being punished or persecuted, I believed that those people must have done something wrong. The people in October 6th, or is it October 6th or 9th? I don't know when it happened, but the people in October 6th started this stuff in Gaza. They literally were flying with parachutes and like coming and like killing the Israelis. They started this. And what made them want to do that? Have you ever asked your question truly? I'm not saying I'm not in the Israeli side and I'm not in the Palestinian side. I am an outsider looking in. I don't care. I don't not care, but I don't care in this context about any of the sides. I wish well for both sides. But at the same time, looking as an outsider looking in, if someone punched you for too long and you stab the person in the leg, is it really your fault? That's a question I want you to answer. Is it really your fault? There's a focus on being the right kind of person. There's a focus that we all have that, oh, if you're Christian, quiet, you don't say your ideas, you don't speak too much, you don't disturb people, you're the right kind of like person we need. You're the person we need. And for those people, we want them to be in our side. We want them to be, you see, those people would never go to jail, or those people would never be in a concentration camp because they are quiet, white, Christian, male. These are our people. These are our people. People who are quiet, Christian, male. These are our people. They will never forsake us. They will never do something wrong. there's a prevailing thought in the psyche that a lot of people want to be in the perfect, like they want to be the right people. They want to assimilate to whatever popular culture deems as the right kind of people. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just pouring these ideas out. I really do not know the answers to these questions. I know for myself that if the Israelis or the Palestinians like overtake the land or whatever, if they come to me, I'm like, oh, what side did you support? I would say whatever side, unless I'm like literally, unless I really want to die, then I'll say what the opposite side. But if I like my life at that moment, I would say whatever side that will keep me alive. Does that make sense? I think we're very concerned about our own preservations, and I know it's like stamped into us from like the fish in the river. Yeah, there are fishes in the river. Yeah, to the bird in the sky. Everybody wants to survive to the next day. So I get it. I get like saying the side that would make you stay alive for another day. But at the same time, because we're humans and we have a bigger brain, question mark, I really don't know if humans are the smartest animals in the world. Because people buy dogs and dogs don't work. They don't go to school. They don't do anything. And they feed them. Oh, humans say they're the smartest. I feel dogs are the smartest. But whatever. I have a gripe with dogs. Yeah, I do. But I like dogs as well. But people say humans are the smartest. So will your morals or is it ethical to say, oh, like let's say you've supported Israel the whole time and Israel loses and Hamas comes to every part of the world and asks you guys, oh, who did you support in this war? And you say, oh, I've been supporting Hamas the whole time. Is that moral? Is that ethical? Question mark. I don't know. I know I'll be immoral, and like unethical, and literally say the side that will keep me alive if I enjoy my life at that moment. My side won't be affected. So why should I care? Like, if I'm like Egypt in this Palestinian-Israeli war, oh, Egypt would never be affected because it's literally happening to Palestine. What if they overtake Palestine and they're like, oh, we really want Egypt now? I will laugh that day. The day that happens, I will laugh. But the people who think their sides will never be affected, or what if they say, oh, okay, let's not go too close. Let's go to Ghana. Let's take Ghana from the Ghanaians, or let's say America. Let's take American from the Americans. Let's say they go really far, which would be very unlikely. But when this happened to the Palestinians, a lot of people were like, "Oh, they literally crossed October 7th. They literally crossed October 6th, or whenever it happened. They literally crossed that day, and now the Israelis are replying." And they, like, let's say the Israelis win, or like they conquer the land, and they come to your city or your country. We always think it's never gonna happen to us until it does, and then we're like, "Oh, yeah." And when it happens to you, it's too late. You can't turn back time. If we could turn back time, we would have. If we could turn back time, a lot of people would have and like made a different decision. But you can't turn back time. So yeah. And then when it's happening to you, they take over your land and you're displaced. Just like in Squid Games, the last episode, they were these five guys, like if I remember correctly. They were against these three guys and a baby. Or two guys and a baby. And they were part of like a cohort, a group, and they were all together. And the group fractured. broke apart. There's this idea that being part of the right cohort or being part of the right question mark is never going to be affected until inevitably it falls apart, it breaks down, and you're also affected by the atrocities or whatever is happening. When you think you're safe because of your cohort, just remember it only takes one shift of power, one change of control for you to become the one that is chased. And then you no longer become the chosen ones. That's all I have for this week. The book I'm reading. I'm reading two books this week in like sections, together in a very weird way. I'm reading Determined by Robert Sapolsky that I DNF'd early this year. I'm reading 10 pages a day, and I'm reading The Underground Man by Dostoevsky. I really enjoy the Underground Man right now because I truly feel like the Underground Man sometimes, but not to that extent. I don't think I'm smarter than I don't think I'm smarter than anybody. I think I'm the dumbest person who has existed. I think if there is a dumber person, that person is smarter than me. And at the same time, I feel really close to the character, the Underground Man, because he thinks he's smarter than everybody, so he doesn't have to talk to people. I think I'm dumber than everybody, so I don't have I don't have to talk to people. I'm scared to talk to people. He's not scared. He's like in the book. He's like, they should want to talk to me because I'm smarter than them. They should want to learn from me because I'm the smartest of the smartest. He literally never says that, but like that's the aura he gives off, and I am like, oh, everybody will find out I'm the dumbest of the dumbest when they become my friend. So I'm not gonna talk to anybody. And then he also overthinks, and I overthink a lot. I think I've told you this story before, but like I have this friend, and whenever I text with this friend, I cross check my spellings, cross check my write up, and like cross check every single thing, so I don't make a mistake when I'm talking to a friend. And a person that you sent me an Instagram like a couple months ago, and the person was like, "This is how you text." When someone texts me, "Hey," in the morning, I respond like, "Hello, and how are you doing?" 7 hours later, because I'm in my head, I overthink it. And today, I figured out I heard something. I know on the podcast I said this. If you want to leave, you can leave. But I'm talking to my friends now. But I know on the podcast I said not choosing is a choice. When you're faced between two options, the smartest option is to choose one of the options, because when you're faced between two options, the third, you always have three options to choose: point A, point B, or not to choose. And not to choose is a bad choice. Before, I thought not to choose was equal to choosing point A or point B, but when you don't choose, you don't learn and you don't grow. But when you choose, you might be if you choose A and you're successful, or you choose B and you're unsuccessful. Even if you're unsuccessful, you learn from that mistake. Yeah, that's my current idea. And today I'm wearing shorts for this episode, and I'm so glad the background is back to here. I think I might start using this camera again because I like the way it looks better than the other camera, but I'll see how it looks in the edit. Yeah, I am making music. I'm working on music. New music coming. New music is crazy. Like I've ever released any song. I'm working on music. I'm going to release my first EP in 2027, December. So mark your calendars. I know it's a long wait, but I want it to be perfect, and I'm learning how to make beats from like scratch. So yeah, I'll speak to you next week on the last part of this whole series, which is called, let me check what the last part is called. What would you do? This whole week, I've like insulted you and said, what would you do if this happens to you? So let's see. For all the questions I have next week, what would you do? What would you do? Truly, that's all that has been on my mind. I'll speak to you on Substack. And I want to start plugging myself because I don't plug a lot. I'll speak to you on Substack. Go read my Substacks. I know I did not release Substack in 2 weeks because I did not feel what I was writing was okay. But go read my Substack. Follow me on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. Even if I'm not on there, I'm gonna be on there in December or maybe next year, sometime next year. Maybe in November. November next year is crazy. Maybe March next year I'll be on Instagram again. But follow me. I want to, when I click on the Instagram, I want to see 10,000 followers. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, you should be subscribed. And leave a comment on YouTube, and also if you're listening on anywhere you listen to podcasts, then you can leave a comment on any podcast platform now, and you can also follow. So follow the podcast. I know I've been begging for subscription and followers now. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do this for like at least another 3 months. Don't worry, I don't do this every week. If this is your first time, you're not welcome. Go and catch up. Okay? I never really speak about things like this. Next week is the last installment of this whole series. So, yeah, I'll see you in the other week where I talk about more personal stuff. But I truly wanted to learn more about fascism, and my whole conclusion, you hear this next week, but I think I truly would have supported Hitler. But when he went too radical, then I would have stopped supporting him. Okay. I'll speak to you next week. Goodbye.